My name is Shi Heng Yi, and for many years I walked in the hidden, suffocating corridors of the dark world of witchcraft. My journey into that realm began at the age of 19 right here in Ghana, through someone no one would have ever suspected, my own aunt in our family. She appeared gentle, quiet, prayerful, almost saint-like. People trusted her, admired her, and often sought her spiritual advice. But behind that false veil of humility, she was something entirely different. She was the spiritual gatekeeper of our bloodline, a high-ranking witch who masterfully concealed her darkness beneath a mask of holiness. In those years, I was trained in the inner workings of witchcraft, how witches identify vulnerable people, how they mock them spiritually, and how they launch attacks against people with great destinies, great spiritual fire, or great potential. I learned how easy it was to operate silently in plain sight, blending unnoticed into families, workplaces, communities, and even churches while carrying out spiritual harm against people who never imagined danger could be so close. Today, I want to expose to you the 5 spiritual signs that reveal when someone is secretly bewitching you. Every sign I will share comes from things I personally practiced or witnessed during my time in the coven. For each sign, I will give real examples from my own past moments when I carried out these operations or saw them performed by others. I am not sharing this to bring fear, but to bring light. Jesus said in Luke 8:11, "For nothing is hidden that will not be disclosed, and nothing concealed that will not be known or brought to light." So today, truth is coming into the open. In witchcraft, emotional energy is one of the strongest spiritual weapons. We were trained that if you want to destroy someone, you do not always attack them directly. You first create emotional chaos around them, especially through the people they trust the most. When someone close to you suddenly begins to resent you without explanation, that emotional breach weakens you spiritually and makes it easier for darkness to attack. I remember a woman named Sister Abina, a powerful prayer warrior in our neighborhood fellowship. She was full of zeal and constantly interceding for others. Her prayers damaged our operations repeatedly, so the coven assigned me the task of silencing her spiritual fire. We couldn't attack her directly because she was too spiritually guarded. Instead, I was instructed to use her closest friend AC as a vessel. Through astral projection, I entered AC's dreams and planted seeds of suspicion and offense. Within days, AC began to feel irritated by Abena for no real reason. Things that never bothered her before suddenly enraged her. She began to distance herself from Abena, and soon they stopped praying together. Their unity, which used to be a spiritual covering, was broken. Just 2 weeks later, Abena fell mysteriously ill. Doctors couldn't explain it, but spiritually the channel of attack had been opened through manipulated hatred. Scripture confirms this pattern. Micah 76 says, "A man's enemies are the members of his own household." Bewitchment often hides behind familiar faces. Another time I was assigned to target a young musician named Shi Heng. His gift was supposed to glorify God, but jealousy surrounded him. I used one of his closest friends as an instrument, someone who suddenly began mocking his progress, discouraging him, and turning others against him. While later said to people, "I don't know what I did wrong. Everyone I love seems to hate me." That is how witchcraft hides behind people you think would never harm you. Whenever someone close to you develops sudden intense hatred without reason, don't only argue with them. Pray it may not be them speaking. It may be a spiritual influence working through them. Dreams never lie. The realm of witchcraft operates heavily at night, because when the body sleeps, the spirit becomes more accessible. When I was deep in the kingdom of darkness, dream invasion became one of my main assignments. We enter dreams to monitor, intimidate, manipulate, or deposit spiritual substances. One of my earliest tasks was targeting a woman named Miriam. She prayed fiercely every midnight, and her prayers constantly disrupted our activities. My leader instructed me to attack her through dreams. That night, I appeared to her as her deceased mother and whispered words of discouragement. "You're wasting your time. These prayers are pointless." When she woke up, she felt unusually heavy and downcast, and she didn't pray that night. 3 days later, we attacked again. This time appearing as a black shadow chasing her. She screamed in her sleep, and fear entered her spirit. Soon, she stopped her midnight press completely. Job 33, St. Winfrey 16 says, God speaks through dreams, sealing his instruction in the night. But if God can instruct through dreams, witches can corrupt through dreams. Another young man from Takarat kept seeing his cousin feeding him in dreams. That cousin was in our coven, me ate the dream food. His real-life business declined. When his pastor prayed, the Holy Spirit revealed that the cousin was the channel of bewitchment. When you constantly see certain people in your dreams, when you experience night visitations, when you eat in dreams, or when you wake up feeling uneasy, it may be a spiritual signal pointing to the source of the attack. Spiritual energy transfer is real. In witchcraft, we draw virtual life force from people through physical contact, a handshake, a hug, or even shared objects. After the transfer, the victim often feels drained, confused, or suddenly ill. I once targeted a young pastor named Brother Samuel. He was anointed but careless with who he allowed into his personal space. Pretending to seek counseling, I gained his trust. When he prayed for me and held my hand, I pulled virtue from his palm. That night, he had a dream of being drained by a shadow. 2 days later, his ministry felt spiritually dry. He told people, I can't feel the fire anymore. Gifts can also be spiritual gateways. I once gave a woman a necklace on her birthday. It looked harmless, but it was a spiritual link. The moment she wore it, her prayer life collapsed and confusion entered her home until the object was destroyed. Even Jesus felt virtue leave him. Mark 5:30. If the Son of God sensed spiritual transfer, we must pay attention to unusual weakness after interacting with someone. Sometimes what looks physical is spiritual. Nothing in the spiritual realm happens without monitoring. Witches rely heavily on surveillance, what the Bible calls familiar spirits. We use both spiritual and physical agents to collect information. I remember a girl named Nana whose destiny we wanted to capture. We assigned someone to coincidentally appear everywhere she went, at the bus stop, at shops, even in dreams. That person was me. Nana told someone, "Why do I keep seeing the same lady everywhere?" She didn't know it was deliberate monitoring. A businessman in ARA was being consistently observed by a customer who always seemed too interested in his affairs. That man was one of our agents, gathering spiritual information through every handshake and every conversation. When the businessman sought deliverance, a prophet confirmed a familiar spirit was using a human host to track him. If you notice repeated encounters, strange curiosity about your life, or the same person appearing online or offline in unusual patterns, be alert. Witchcraft cannot attack successfully without monitoring. When witches cannot approach directly, they often use animals, insects, or objects as vessels. Cats, owls, lizards, even household items like mirrors, jewelry, or pots can carry spiritual assignments. In my early years, I frequently projected myself into animals. There was a Christian woman who lived opposite my house every night at 200 a.m. I entered the body of a black cat to watch her pray at her window. One night she shouted, "Only ghost fire," and I felt a burning sensation in the coven. I nearly died. The next morning, the cat, my projection, was found dead behind her house. Another time, we bewitched the family by placing a charm inside a decorative flower pot. Suddenly, the household became filled with arguments and disorder. When a pastor visited, he discerned the object and instructed them to burn it. Peace returned instantly. Deuteronomy 72:526 warns not to bring cursed objects into your home. If you notice strange animal patterns or unsettling objects, pray and sanctify your environment. I share all of this not to make you afraid, but to open your eyes. Witchcraft hides best in normality. The person bewitching you might be a friendly neighbor, a jealous relative, or a smiling co-worker. But 1 Corinthians 2:14 reminds us that spiritual things require spiritual discernment. I used to be that hidden enemy operating behind smiles, handshakes, and familiar faces. But the mercy of Jesus Christ delivered me at the crusade in Cape Coast. I fell under the power of God. For 3 nights, I saw the same blinding light that Saul saw on the road to Damascus. When I awoke, the chains of the covenant were broken forever. If you suspect someone is bewitching, you don't fear. Fear empowers darkness. Faith destroys it. Pray this aloud. Lord Jesus, open my spiritual eyes. Expose every hidden enemy around me. Reveal every face behind my affliction. Let every human agent of darkness monitoring my life be exposed and rendered powerless by the blood of Jesus. I cut off every evil connection, every curse object, and every manipulation against my destiny. I receive divine protection and spiritual discernment in Jesus' mighty name. Amen. If this has opened your eyes, share it so others can be free. Darkness loses its strength when light exposes it. I stand before you today not as a stranger, but as someone who once walked in the shadows of darkness. I lived in the world of witchcraft, and I know the tricks, the strategies, and the signs that witches use to target people. Today I am exposing the truth because many of you are being attacked. Ed and you don't even know it. I want to tell you something. Bewitchment is real, and it is not always obvious. The enemy does not always come with a loud noise. Most times he comes quietly like a thief in the night. If you are not careful, you may never know who is behind your suffering. I remembered the days when I used to watch people suffer, and I would laugh in secret thinking it was simply fate. But then I began to see the truth behind the chaos, and I realized that sudden misfortune is not always random. Sometimes it is a deliberate attack. It comes in a way that makes you think you are being punished by life. But the reality is far more sinister. When a person is bewitching you, the first sign often appears as a sudden and unexplained downfall. You are doing well, your life is moving forward, and everything seems to be in place. Then, without warning, disaster strikes. Not once, not twice, but continuously. It is like a dark cloud that follows you wherever you go. And no matter how much you try to run, you cannot escape it. You may wake up one day to find that your finances have vanished. You have been working hard. You have been honest. You have been faithful. Yet money begins to disappear from your hands like water through a sieve. Your salaries delayed. Your business clients disappear. Your investments collapse. And unexpected expenses keep arising. It is not just the normal ups and downs of life. This is something else. It is a deliberate sabotage. It is an unseen force pushing you down, keeping you from rising. You begin to feel like you are walking on a thin rope, and one small mistake will make you fall into the pit. Then your health begins to fail. So suddenly, one moment you are strong, and the next moment you are weak. You begin to experience strange sicknesses that doctors cannot explain. You are told that your blood pressure is high, or your sugar is abnormal, or your body is filled with pains. You take medication, you follow instructions, but nothing changes. The sickness keeps returning, and you begin to feel like your body is a battlefield. You may even notice that your body reacts negatively when you go to certain places or when you meet certain people. This is not a coincidence. It is the work of someone who is sending sickness into your life through spiritual means. They do not have to touch you physically. They only need to send the spiritual force, and your body becomes the target. Your relationships begin to crumble unexpectedly. People who once loved you start acting cold and distant. Friends you trusted begin to turn against you. Your marriage, which was once peaceful, becomes full of arguments. Your children become difficult, and your home becomes a place of tension. You wonder what happened. You wonder why everyone is suddenly against you. But it is not just the people. It is the spiritual force behind them. Witchcraft often works through people who are close to you. They may not even know they are being used. They may think they are helping, but they are actually carrying the attack into your life. And you, the victim, are left to suffer the consequences. But your business begins to fail for no reason. Your customers leave, your products become rejected, and every plan you make seems to collapse. You start wondering if there is a curse on you, and you begin to question your faith. You may even feel like, gee, OD has forgotten you. But the truth is that someone is working against you. They are jealous of your progress, and they cannot bear to see you succeed. They send misfortune into your life to keep you in a place of stagnation. They want you to stay where you are, to remain weak, to remain helpless. This is why they attack suddenly, so that you do not have time to prepare or defend yourself. In my time in the world of darkness, I saw many people who were destroyed in this way. They did not understand why their life suddenly changed. They thought it was just bad luck or destiny. But the moment I saw the pattern, I knew the truth. Sudden misfortune is often the first sign that someone is bewitching you. It is the opening move in a spiritual war. If you experience it, do not ignore it. Do not dismiss it as a coincidence. Pay attention, because the enemy is trying to pull you down, and he's using someone close to you to do it. You keep experiencing the same problem again and again, and it feels like you are trapped in a loop. You wake up hopeful, you make plans, you pray, you fast, you try every solution available. Yet this same issue keeps returning like a shadow that refuses to leave. At first, you may think it is just life being difficult. You may blame yourself, thinking you are doing something wrong, or that you are not spiritually strong enough. But when the problem repeats itself without mercy, when it becomes a pattern rather than a one-time incident, you must understand that this is not normal. This is a sign of a spiritual attack, and it is often the work of someone who is bewitching you. The enemy does not always attack with new problems. Sometimes he attacks by K, keeping you stuck in the same place, repeating the same pain until you become worn out. He uses a tactic of repetition because it breaks your spirit. It makes you feel hopeless, and eventually you begin to accept the suffering as part of your life. The truth is, if the same problem keeps coming back, it is not because you are unlucky. It is because someone is using spiritual means to send that problem into your life repeatedly. They are not satisfied with one attack. They want to make sure you stay trapped. You may be dealing with a business problem that never ends. Every time you think you have made progress, something happens to pull you back. Your clients disappear, your deals fall through, your money gets stolen, or your efforts are met with obstacles that seem impossible to overcome. You work hard, but you never see the fruit of your labor. You start to feel like you are running in circles. You begin to wonder if God has cursed you, or if you are destined to remain poor forever. But the truth is, there is a spiritual force behind it. Someone is sending that same problem into your life to keep you stagnant. They want to see you suffer and fail, and they are using repetition to ensure that your life never moves forward. Sometimes the problem is emotional or relational. You may find yourself in a constant cycle of broken relationships. Every time you get close to someone, it ends in pain. You may attract the same type of person, or you may experience the same type of betrayal over and over again. You may have prayed for a spouse, and yet every relationship ends in heartbreak. You may feel like you are cursed in love, like there is something wrong with you. But this is a classic sign of bewitchment. The enemy knows that your emotional life is a target. He wants to keep you lonely, confused, and rejected. So he sends the same problem repeatedly to make sure you never find peace. In other cases, the problem may be health-related. You may recover from an illness only for it to return with greater intensity. You may experience the same pain, the same sickness, the same weakness again and again. You may feel like your body is betraying you, like you are fighting a battle that you cannot win. When this happens, it is not just a physical issue. It is a spiritual attack. Someone is sending sickness into your life repeatedly to weaken you, to drain your strength, and to make you vulnerable. They want to break you down so that you cannot fight back. What makes this sign especially dangerous is that it can affect your faith. You may begin to doubt God. You may feel like your prayers are not being answered. You may question whether you are truly saved or if God is even listening. The enemy uses repetition to attack your belief system. He wants you to lose hope so that you will stop fighting. He wants you to accept your suffering as your fate. But you must not allow this to happen. You must recognize that the repeated problem is not your destiny. It is a spiritual assignment and someone is behind it. When you experience the same problem again and again, it is a warning. It is a call to wake up and pay attention. It is a sign that someone is bewitching you and using that same issue to keep you trapped. The moment you understand this, you can begin to fight back. You can seek deliverance. You can strengthen your spiritual life, and you can expose the he person who is behind the attack. Do not allow repetition to become your reality. Stand up, because the enemy is trying to keep you in a loop, and he will not stop until you break free. You begin to feel weak and drained around certain people. And at first, you may not understand why. It does not make sense to you because they are people you trust, people you know, people you have been close to for a long time. But every time you are around them, your energy disappears. You feel tired, heavy, and emotionally empty. It is as if someone has switched off your light. You may not even notice it at first, but over time it becomes obvious that something is wrong. You feel like you are losing strength, not because of work or stress, but because of the presence of certain individuals. This is a powerful sign that someone is bewitching you, and they are doing it through those who are close to you. In the world of witchcraft, energy is very important. A witch does not always attack directly. Sometimes they use people as carriers, as vessels, as tools to drain you. They do not need to be near you physically. They can send their spiritual influence to people who are connected to you, and the result is the same. You feel weak, you feel drained, and you feel like you are losing yourself. This is one of the most deceptive forms of attack because it looks like normal life. You may think you are just tired from work, or you may blame it on stress. But the truth is, there is a spiritual force at work, and it is using someone you trust to harm you. You may notice that whenever you meet certain people, your mood changes. You start feeling anxious, depressed, or uncomfortable. You may not even know why, but your body reacts. Your heart may begin to beat faster. Your head may begin to ache, or you may feel a sudden heaviness in your chest. This is not a coincidence. It is the spiritual connection between you and the person who is being used to drain you. The enemy uses their presence to weaken your spirit. He wants you to become vulnerable because a weak person is easier to control. When you are drained, you cannot think clearly. You cannot pray effectively. You cannot make strong decisions. And that is exactly what the enemy wants. Sometimes the person who is draining you is not even aware of what they are doing. They may be someone who is jealous of you, someone who wants what you have, or someone who is bitter because they cannot progress like you. They may pretend to love you, but their heart is filled with envy. They may act friendly, but their spirit is hostile. In witchcraft, jealousy is a strong weapon. When someone is jealous, they can send spiritual attacks without even realizing it. They may speak ill of you, they may curse you, or they may invite spirits into your life through prayers that are not aligned with God. And you, the victim, suffer without understanding why. It is also common for a person who is bewitching you to use someone close to you as a spiritual breach. This person may be a friend, a family member, or even a spouse. They may not be the one doing the attack directly, but they are the channel. They may be used to transfer negative energy into your life. This is why you feel drained when you are around them. It is like a battery being drained by a device that is plugged into it. You feel your energy leaving you, and you feel powerless to stop it. You may even begin to feel sick or weak after spending time with them. You may need to rest for hours just to recover. This is not normal. Another way you can identify this sign is by observing your behavior after you leave their presence. Do you feel better when you are away from them? Do you feel like a heavy burden has been lifted off your shoulders? If yes, then you are dealing with spiritual draining. It is not a coincidence. It is a deliberate attack. The enemy uses certain people to weaken you so that you can be controlled. He wants you to become tired, depressed, and hopeless. He wants you to stop fighting. He wants you to give up on your dreams. And he will keep doing this until you become spiritually weak and vulnerable. If you are experiencing this, you must pay attention. It is not just emotional. It is spiritual. You are being targeted, and the enemy is using people to drain you. The moment you recognize this, you can begin to protect yourself. You can distance yourself. You can pray, and you can seek spiritual guidance. You must not allow anyone to drain your energy, because your strength is your weapon and the enemy wants to steal it from you. Your dreams become dark and disturbing, and it feels like every night is a battle you did not choose. You begin to sleep with fear, not knowing what you will see in your dreams. You may wake up sweating, your heart racing, your body trembling, and you are left with the heavy feeling that something evil has visited you while you are asleep. When a person is bewitching you, they often attack through the dream realm because this is where your spirit is most vulnerable. While you sleep, your guard is down, and the enemy uses that moment to send messages, fear, and torment into your life. This is not just imagination. This is spiritual warfare. At first, the dreams may seem random. You may see strange images, unusual scenarios, or frightening symbols that do not make sense. But as time goes on, the dreams become more intense and more repetitive. You may see snakes, fire, blood, dark figures, or even people you know, but with a twisted appearance. You may dream of falling, being chased, drowning, or being trapped in a dark place. These dreams are not just nightmares. They are spiritual attacks. They are sent to destroy your peace and to weaken your faith. They are meant to frighten you and make you feel helpless. And once you begin to fear your sleep, the enemy has already worn a part of your life. One of the most shocking things about these dreams is that they often contain a message. The person who is bewitching you wants to communicate with you through your dreams. They want to scare you, confuse you, and make you doubt yourself. Sometimes the dream may show you your worst fears. It may show you your death, or it may show you a tragedy that is meant to make you panic. The enemy uses dreams as a weapon because dreams can affect your thoughts and emotions. When you wake up, you may feel depressed, anxious, or unsettled. You may even begin to question your sanity. This is exactly what the enemy wants. In the world of witchcraft, dreams are powerful. They are used to manipulate, to control, and to attack. A witch can send a dream to a person without physically being near them. They can use the spiritual realm to enter your sleep and place fear inside your mind. The dream becomes a tool to destroy your confidence and your destiny. When you experience these dreams, you may begin to feel like you are not safe even in your own bed. You may begin to fear nighttime, and you may even begin to avoid sleep. But sleep is not the enemy. The enemy is the spiritual force behind the dreams. Another thing you may notice is that the dreams often involve familiar faces. You may see someone you know, but they appear evil or demonic in the dream. This is a sign that the person behind the attack is using familiar spirits or hidden forces to torment you. They want you to believe that even the people you trust are against you. They want to isolate you so you feel alone. They want you to think that no one loves you and that everyone is a threat. This is why dreams are so effective. They target your emotions and they make you feel like you are surrounded by darkness. Sometimes the dreams may show you symbols of destruction, such as broken homes, broken cars, or broken relationships. These dreams are warnings, but they are also attacks. They are meant to cause fear and confusion so that you will become distracted and weak. When your mind is distracted, you cannot focus on your purpose. You cannot pray effectively, and you cannot hear God's voice clearly. The enemy uses dreams to keep you in a state of confusion so you will not be able to fight back. You may also notice that the dreams are often followed by real-life problems. After a dark dream, you may experience sudden sickness, loss, or conflict. This is not a coincidence. The enemy uses dreams as a gateway to bring problems into your life. He wants to weaken you spiritually, emotionally, and physically. He wants to destroy your peace and your destiny. And he will continue to do this until you recognize the pattern and fight back. If your dreams have become dark and disturbing, you must take it seriously. This is not normal. This is not just stress or imagination. It is a spiritual attack, and someone is behind it. The dream realm is a battlefield, and you are being targeted. You must wake up, because the enemy is using your sleep to destroy you. Your relationships suddenly collapse, and it hits you like a storm that came without warning. One moment, everything seems peaceful and normal, and the next moment, your life becomes full of conflict, misunderstanding, and separation. You may not understand how it happened because you did not see it coming. You are happy, you are loving, you are giving your best, and yet your relationships begin to crumble. It is like a house that was strong suddenly loses its foundation. This is a sign that someone is bewitching you and they are attacking the most important part of your life, your connections with people. When a person is using witchcraft against you, they do not just attack your finances or your health. They attack your relationships because they know that your support system is your strength. Your family, your friends, your spouse, and your loved ones are the ones who hold you up when you are weak. The enemy knows this. So, he targets your relationships. First, he wants to isolate you so that you are alone and vulnerable. He wants to make sure you have no one to lean on when the storm comes. This is why the collapse happens suddenly. It is not a natural breakup. It is spiritual destruction. You may notice that small arguments start to become big fights. You may find yourself misunderstanding people easily. Things that were once normal become triggers. A simple conversation turns into a heated debate. The love that was once strong begins to fade. You may start to feel a coldness in your heart, and you may even begin to feel hatred or bitterness toward people you once loved. This is not normal. It is the work of an enemy who wants to destroy your peace. Witchcraft can cause people to act irrationally, to say things they do not mean, and to carry anger that they cannot explain. Sometimes the collapse happens in your marriage. A spouse who once loved you begins to act differently. They become distant, cold, and unresponsive. They may start to cheat, or they may begin to accuse you of things you did not do. You may notice a sudden loss of affection, and the love that once held you together begins to disappear. This is a clear sign of spiritual attack. The enemy is using someone close to you to destroy your home. He wants to break your marriage so that you will become weak and unstable. He wants to make you feel rejected and alone. In other cases, your friendships begin to fall apart. People who once supported you begin to avoid you. They may start to talk behind your back or spread rumors about you. You may begin to feel like you're being betrayed by those you trusted. You may even notice that the people who are causing to heat trouble are people who have been jealous of your progress. Jealousy is a powerful weapon in the hands of the enemy. When someone is jealous, they can become a tool for spiritual attack. They may not even know they are being used, but they are helping to destroy your relationships. Your family may also become a battlefield. Siblings may begin to fight, parents may become distant, and relatives may start to turn against you. You may find yourself feeling like you do not belong anymore. You may feel like your own family is against you. This is a painful experience, and it is one of the most effective ways the enemy attacks. When you feel rejected by your family, you begin to lose your sense of identity. You begin to question your worth. You begin to doubt yourself. And the enemy loves this because it makes you easier to control. Another sign is that your relationships collapse without any clear reason. There is no major event, no big fight, no obvious reason for the break. It simply happens. People suddenly become distant and the bond is broken. This is not natural, it is spiritual. Someone is behind it. They are using their power to cause misunderstanding, hatred, and separation. They want you to suffer alone because a lonely person is a defeated person. When relationships collapse suddenly, it is also a sign that the enemy is trying to steal your peace. He wants to create chaos in your life so that you cannot focus on your purpose. He wants to distract you with conflict so that you will not have time to pray, to grow, or to succeed. He wants to make your life unstable so that you will become fearful, and fear is one of his greatest tools. If your relationships are collapsing suddenly, you must pay attention. This is not normal. This is not a coincidence. It is a sign that someone is bewitching you and targeting your life through your relationships. You must not ignore it. You must fight back because the enemy is trying to destroy the foundation of your life. You start experiencing unusual physical symptoms, and it feels like your body is betraying you. You may begin to notice things happening to your health that cannot be explained by doctors or by any medical tests. You may feel weak, dizzy, or suddenly unwell, and you may not understand why. One day you are fine, and the next day you are struggling to breathe, feeling heavy, or dealing with pains that come and go without any clear cause. These are not normal signs of aging or stress. These are signs of spiritual interference, and they are often a result of bewitchment. When someone is targeting you through witchcraft, they attack your body because they know that if they can weaken your physical strength, they can weaken your spirit and your purpose. The first thing you may notice is unexplained pain. Your body may hurt in places where there is no injury. You may experience sharp pains in your chest, your head, or your joints. You may feel like your bones are aching, or you may feel a constant heaviness in your body. You may take medication, you may rest, and you may try to find a solution. But the pain persists. It comes and goes like a shadow that follows you everywhere. This is not normal. It is spiritual. It is a sign that someone is sending negative energy into your body. Witchcraft can cause physical symptoms because it is not only a spiritual attack, it is also a physical attack on the body. Another common symptom is sudden weakness. You may feel like you have no strength even when you have slept well. You may feel tired all the time, and you may struggle to carry out simple tasks. Your body may feel heavy, and you may feel like you are dragging a weight wherever you go. This is not just fatigue, it is a spiritual draining. Someone is taking your energy, and you are becoming weak because of it. When a person is bewitching you, they often want to weaken you physically so that you cannot fight back spiritually. They want to make you feel helpless, and they want to keep you in a state of weakness. You may also experience sudden dizziness or fainting. You may feel like you are about to collapse, and you may struggle to stand up. You may feel like the room is spinning, and you may have to sit down to avoid falling. These symptoms may come without warning, and you may not be able to explain why they are happening. This is a sign that your body is being affected spiritually. Someone is interfering with your life force, and it is causing your body to react. You may think it is a medical issue, but if doctors cannot find a cause, then you must consider the spiritual realm. Another unusual symptom is constant headaches. You may experience severe headaches that come and go, and no matter what you do, they do not go away. You may take painkillers, you may rest, you may drink water, but the headache persists. It may even be accompanied by pressure in your head or a feeling of something heavy on your head. This is a common sign of spiritual attack. The enemy often attacks the head because it is the control center of the body. If he can disturb your mind, he can disturb your life. He wants to cause confusion, fear, and mental instability. In some cases, people experience strange sensations like burning, itching, or crawling on the skin. They may feel like something is moving on their body even when there is nothing there. This is a sign of spiritual presence. The enemy is trying to make you feel uncomfortable in your own body. He wants you to feel like you are being haunted. He wants you to feel like you are not safe. And when you feel unsafe, you become fearful. And fear is a powerful weapon in the hands of the enemy. You may also experience sudden weight loss or weight gain. Your body may change quickly without any reason. You may lose appetite, or you may begin to eat excessively. Your body may become weak, and you may begin to lose control of your emotions. These are signs of spiritual interference because your body is being affected by something beyond the physical. Witchcraft can cause your body to react in strange ways, and it can make you feel like you are losing control of your life. Sometimes you may feel like someone is watching you or standing over you. You may feel a presence in the room even when you are alone. You may feel like you are not alone in your own home. This is a sign of spiritual attack, and it often accompanies unusual physical symptoms. The enemy wants you to feel afraid, and he uses your body to create fear. When you experience these signs, you must take them seriously. They are not normal, and they are not to be ignored. Someone is bewitching you, and they are attacking your body to weaken your spirit.